Certain people carry weight that others don't, and it's because of their testimony over time. He's kind of an, you might think of it as an aw shucks kind of guy. Mm-hmm. He didn't like to set himself apart from the broader community. He grew up on a farm on the other side of the Willamette River and then spent his entire life in Newberg. So most of his life, he was not a wealthy entrepreneur. He was just a normal guy. He would sit when we were having breakfast and stuff, and he would start tinkering on a piece of paper and thinking about, I've been trying to see, like, how, if you wanted to make this, whatever this was, what would it look like? And then he would draw it, and then he could go to a shop and he could create a mock-up of it, and then he would play with it. And so Jay's, I think, represented kind of who he was. The kind of person he was like this brilliant person who could imagine how something worked, and then he could create it. But he had weight that went far beyond his funding. And that expressed itself in his support of all kinds of different causes, of course, but people mainly. Joanne was the business mind. She was the one that ran the company. She was the one that was creative in terms of management. Whereas Ken was he was the creative person behind the scenes that developed the products and then modified them in order to meet market need. As they became more and more successful economically, alcohol became a part of his life in really negative ways, and he became an alcoholic. So it was in the deep pain of his experience with alcohol that he eventually decided he needed help. And so that help came through an organization that is called Alcoholics Anonymous. And it was in that group that he was introduced not only to, I think it's a 12-step program of becoming sober, but he also met Christ in that. His faith journey really began at that point. So he and his wife attended Lutheran church in town. They were a part of the faith community in that way. And so I think Newberg was very fortunate to have someone like Mr. Austin in the community. So. The greatest gift that you gave to this community was yourself. Your authenticity, your transparency, your willingness to walk in faith in and with God in ways that showed true grace to others. So you've funded lots of things. You've given and built a great business. But I think the greatest gift that you gave was the way in which you carried yourself through your life. And that set a standard for many of us both to look towards and to follow. So thank you for that.